Hi guys, welcome to tonight's fly out flight. Today we're going to be going from Gibraltar down into Faro, and we're going to be departing from runway 09 and landing on runway 28 on the ILS with the lovely Ryanair. So the flight should be about 30 minutes long and should be a really good one, so don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, and let's get into the cockpit and start her up. Okay, so now we're in the 737-800 cockpit. We'll go ahead and do our checks. So we've got our battery on and guarded, standby power on and guarded, and ground power on. We'll go to bat and ground power. We'll then go ahead and align the IRS. After that we'll go ahead and get our panel light on, and we'll go and arm the emergency lights. We'll put our seat belts on to auto. We'll get the APU started and put the one pump on. We'll go ahead and test our window heat and put that on with our probes. We can put the trim air on with the packs. And our flight level today, as on the chart, is flight level of 280. And we've got a landing elevation down in Faro, as today I have to, for some reason, all my charts keep disappearing, so we will get there on time. The elevation for Faro is 24, so we'll leave that as normal. So what we can do is we'll go into the IRS to set it up. Let's get our panel lights on. Okay, so with the IRS, let's go and set our ATIS as well, so we can get that up as well. So we're going from Lima X-Ray Golf Bravo. We'll stick that in there and send it off. We'll go into the FMC, we'll do our IRS, same again, Lima X-Ray Bravo Golf, and then we'll stick that into there. Our lights come to life, which means we are now okay. So Lima Papa Foxtrot Romeo is our arrival. We're going to be departing from runway 09, and then from 09 we are going to, let me just get up the charts again, as my phone keeps making everything disappear today. So for our route that we're going to take down into Faro, we're going to be leaving runway 09 for Gibraltar, and then once we leave 09, okay, so we are going to go direct to or top, and then from or top we're going to take the Alpha 5 to Foxtrot, Victor Foxtrot Alpha, and then we're going to take the Yankee 103, which is going to take us to Gimel, which will be the start of our arrival. So for our arrival, we're going to take the Gimel 6 Alpha. That's what it will be. There's the Gimel 6 Alpha. So that's fine. So we'll take the Gimel 6 Alpha for the ILS on runway 28. And now if I just get the charts up for Faro, so we can have a look on the approach for runway 28 on the star. We've got Gimel, which will take us right up there, and we're going to transition off at get to B. That is our transition, so we'll activate that, shove it in, get our weight. We've got a reserve of 1, we've got a cost index of 63, we're going for 280, cruise wind 135 28 028. Okay. And we'll do our temperature. Need full takeoff for Gibraltar's little runway. We've got 130, 132 for rotate and a 143, so we'll go ahead and bug that now. There's a 143, 280, and we'll turn our flight directors on, and the auto throttle can go in as well. Let's go in and get our ASUS up for the airport. So we've got 1018, and winds, they are gusting as well, so 100. So we just got to be very careful today when we come in. So it's going to be a little bit blustery. So we'll get all our config now. See, it used to do that automatic. Now what you've got to do is you have to actually go into the FMC and then into the Avi tab. So takeoff 22.2, so 22.2, it was a 4.88 on the trim. There we go, that'll do. Right, so now over to our overhead, so we'll switch over to the APU gen, start getting our pumps on, we'll turn our electrics, and our yaw dampers can also go on, and we'll switch our packs off with the APU bleed on, turn our anti-collision on with our strobe, put our start switches to continuous, and everything else is all set to go. So we'll ding the cabin and we'll start calling the pushback now. Okay, so the aircraft is now driving up, so we'll put in our runway heading, which is 091, which is set. Okay, so verify takeoff speeds on our legs on a 336.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, ready to connect. Start turning our panel lights on. And what we can also do is light the cabin up. Okay, so tow's going to connect now, so we'll get ourselves all ready to go. So our auto brake can go to RTO. We can go ahead and do our systems check in just a minute whilst we wait for the lovely tow to push us back and tell us then that we can start our lovely engines up and get out of it. So we'll be on taxiway Bravo when we sit behind the hold of the pushback, and then we're going to turn.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, so set our QNH is 1018 as it was on the ASUS, which is set. So we can go ahead now and release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and start engine number 2. Okay, so what we'll do is now we'll wait for engine number 2 to ping back, and then we'll go ahead and hit number 1. Okay, so there's number 1 come back. So what we'll do
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
is we'll set the parking brake, and now we'll switch
Disconnecting
over.
tow. Stand by.
So we'll switch over to our Gen 1. We'll put our packs back on. Isolation valve can go to auto. The APU bleed can go off, and the APU now. So we'll turn our logo light on. We'll turn our taxis on, and we are all ready to go. So we'll brief the cabin to let them know that we're going. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll drop our flaps 5.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
See you very soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye. So now the tug's going to go and disappear now off into the distance. I'm going to go and check the FMC for any discontinuities, which there is not. So what we're going to do is now, as you can see, we're on Bravo. We're going to turn a left onto the runway, which will be the Alpha hold, and then from there, oops, accidentally hit the auto throttle, and then from there we'll then taxi on down and back taxi runway 09. So should be a good departure route today. It's going to be nice and scenic. Hopefully the visibility calms down before we get to Faro. So we've got everything all set now. Let's go and do our quick control check, and we'll get our yoke in as well. So we've got full left, full right, forward and back, and rudder left and rudder right. Okay, and before we do set off, so don't make the same mistake, let's go ahead and customize my hardware to your, and everything else is accordingly to how I like it. So let's go ahead and just save that. Okay, so we're all good to go now. So we're going to release the brake, and we're going to start powering off. Okay, so we'll make that left turn now onto the runway. We've got some not very nice winds today. So, okay, so what we're going to do is now we'll turn our strobes on. We'll put our wings on and our wheel well and our runway turn-offs.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you very much. So, cabin's all secure now, as we're ready to get out. So, onto Alpha, and then we'll turn right now. Try not to hit the sign or one of the lights. So, turn onto 09, go down to the end of the runway, and then we'll turn around and depart straight out on the 091 heading. So if we look to our right, there's traffic all waiting as we get ready to depart. See a bit of traffic going past in the distance. So just getting ready to go. I'm going to go for 280. Once we spin round, then we'll turn on the landing lights and get the aircraft all ready to go. Have a look at our route when we're in the air as well, so we can show you the arrival when we come in for runway 28. I don't like putting too much in my sim, as I prefer frames over, you know, over the top quality. You're just going to get stutters, and unless you've got like a G-Sync monitor, then Now you're going to need a pretty expensive PC. I mean, mine was expensive enough, and you know, I'm happy with the performance. I just don't like to clog the PC with too much, because if I'm not going to use it, it's just going to sit there in the PC, and I don't really want it to slow things down, etc. So I'd rather keep my sim running nice and smooth and take it to its limits of what is actually possible and what actually looks nice. So we're going to turn around now for runway 09. We'll just run a little bit wide so we can get the full runway. There we go, make that turn around now. Okay, so we'll just line her up back straight, and then we can get out of here. We've got a nice low speed today, because obviously Gibraltar's runway isn't very long at all. So we'll stop her here. We'll now turn our landing lights on, our runway turn-offs can go off, and our taxis. We've got our strobes already on, and we are all ready to go. Okay, so we are now all ready to go. What we can do is go on our overhead. We've got our landing lights on now, runway turn-offs are off, taxis and everything else is all set to go. So we'll go ahead and ding the cabin. We'll turn our clock on. I want to arm our VNAV and LNAV. LNAV will go off when we get up in the air. That's fine. So, you know the drill, guys. 45% and toga. So we'll let the 45 stabilise. And toga. Okay, let's get ready for that wind. It's going to come. Okay, airspeed alive. Nice and smooth. Check, cross-checked.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Let's just get our LNAV on. Here we go.
400.
Okay. Check. Come down. Put it down onto a flaps 1.
1000.
Check. Okay, so as we go up now, as it was a bit of a rocky one, get ready onto our flaps up setting. As we come round, we can now turn the auto brake 2 off. As we make that rocky left turn out of Gibraltar. As you can see, the aircraft's a little bit shaky as we come round, but just holding control as we near around for that left turn out of 09. As we come round a bend now, it's getting a little bit choppy. Just try and stay on that, or correct with a bit of trim. As we make that left turn now, that's fly through the clouds. So just keep her nice and stable now as we go past. We'll go flaps up now. Hopefully we should see some sunshine when we do break through the clouds. Okay, so now the aircraft's going to start climbing up. Still following the flight director now. Okay. Okay, so just climbing through 5,000 feet on a very steep climb up. Still flying the aircraft manually now, as we're just trying to stick to that 250. At the moment we haven't got the weather plug-in added for the radar, but we know the winds are quite bad, so what we can do is we'll now switch our Q&H's back over. As we're going through 7,000 now. Breaking through the clouds. And now we're going to make a right turn just to intercept back on course. There we go. Don't go to 250. Slowly start creeping up to the 25 mark. trim down a little bit so we can keep that slow increase, and then we'll intercept back on, be at our top of climb as we are climbing nice and smooth. Okay, so let's home in. Okay, so there's a 250, we'll just trim up a little. There we go. That should hold us. And we'll start to turn left to right. Okay, so we're past 10,000 now. Turn our landing lights off, runway tunnels with our taxis, and everything else can stay on for now. As we climb now through 11,000, and we'll activate the autopilot. Hands off the controls now, and the aircraft has full control of our flight. So there we are, guys. Up in the air now, hitting our 300 knot ascent, and there's our top of climb for our top of descent. And if we have a little look now, what we can do is our checklists. So we've got our engine start switches are auto, which is checked. Landing lights are off above 10,000 feet. Runway turn-offs are off. Position lights and strobes are steady. And our climb out. Landing lights are off. Our altimeter setting is standard. So after takeoff, checklist is complete and the auto brake is set back to off. So we're all good now. Flying up to our top of climb. And then once we do that, I'll show you now, as we've got time to do it, our planning as we come down into the airport. Now let's get rid of our stations. There we go. Right, so we're going to plan. We'll go down. We're going to be heading for ORTOP. Then once we get to ORTOP, we'll then go to our VFR for Faro. It's basically going to be a swing around, so we'll go to Faro, then we'll get to Jamal, and then we'll intercept or transition off at Getby or Gebty, which will be that left turn then straight into for the straight in approach for runway 28 on the ILS. So it's pretty straightforward, it's not very complicated. So what we can do now, guys, is we'll go into our takeoff cinematics, which I hope you enjoy, and I will see you all when I get back. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all when it's time for our top of descent. So see you in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back to the flight deck. Right now we're just about to make our descent down into Faro. Now, as I've been having problems getting up all my charts today, nothing to do with getting them, just my phone that's holding all the charts so decided to act up a little bit today, so might just take an extra few seconds to pull everything up as I keep losing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to now get the aircraft all ready to come down on our approach. So let's get our approach charts up for the ILS Yankee 28. So we're going to we'll intercept onto the glide slope at 2000 from 3000. So there's our 3000, and then we'll be on ready for the glide path at 2000. So we're going to be at 154 when we get to our VOR, and we'll put that in now just to tune it. So the VOR is 12112.80. And we've got 112.80. Okay, so as you can see, we're 53 miles away from Faro, from the airport. So now what we'll do is we'll drop our altitude on the MCP with our intercept altitude, and we can now tell the aircraft to descend now. Okay, and we're going to get it to descend down for 250, which will give us a nice approach in, and we won't be coming down too fast. So we can open up our speed brakes now to slow us down into our descent. And now as we're starting to descend, we can start to do our descent checklist. So first ones will be our engine start switches are to go to continuous, and landing lights under 10,000 feet, so that'll be our descent checklist complete. As we go in, and we'll set up our barrow now. So the barrow on the ILS is 220, just like yesterday, 220. 200 foot decision. Okay, so 220 set. Try and get this all done pretty shifty. 220 set. Let's go in and get our weather for the ASUS. So Lima Papa Foxtrot Romeo. Set that in. We'll go in and do our approach. So we'll do a 144. +5, we'll see what our wind is as well once we get it. Okay, so we'll just send off the ASUS now, and we'll wait for that to come back. We've done our descent checklist. We'll start setting the aircraft up. So we've got 220 barrow, which will give us a 200 foot decision. We've got 144 +5, which will give us a 149. We'll go ahead and get our ASUS now. 040 at 6, it's 281 at 06, so that's fine. 250 descending through 25, ready for our 2000 intercept. We're going to transition off at GEP or GEP-T. So everything is going down alright. The QNH for the airport is 1017. There's 1017 and 1017. Go ahead and get the ILS frequency now, 10950. And 10950. Once we make that turn around back off the airport, then we'll get ready for our arrival. So the course frequency is 282. Okay, so there's 282. And we've got our course set. We've got the ILS frequency, which is also set as well. As we come down into once we get to the Faro VOR, we should be at 240 for 154. Then we'll make that left turn to Jamal, which will take us 15 miles back out away from the airport. Then we'll get down to 10,000, just under 11. And then once we make that final left towards Getby, we should be down for 6,000, and by the time we turn, which will be 3,000, we'll then make that left turn at Getby to get and go on to the 273, which will then lead us to the 283, ready for runway 28 on the 282 course. Okay, so right now we're just getting ready to hit Jamal, and once we hit Jamal, then we're going to start to descend down. As we come back around, our missed approach altitude will be 3,000 feet when we go back into the hold at Jamal. So we'll start our next descent down onto the runway as we come round for runway 28 on the ILS. Lovely sunset arrival. So what we can do is we'll set the auto brake to number 2, and we can go through our approach checklist. So on the approach checklist, we've got our altimeter setting, which is 1017, which is cross-checked, ready to go back, which is armed, which is set. After that, we've got our altitude for our approach, which is 2,000 to intercept from 3,000, which is set. Our ILS course frequency of 282, which is also set on both sides, which is checked. Taxi lights can now go to auto, which will turn on, which is checked. Minimums Barrow, we are landing a 200-foot decision for a 220 on the Barrow, which is set, and auto brakes are armed with the 2 of setting. So now we'll start to make our last descent down from 12,000 now as we go down into the airport. So 18 miles away from Faro, and now we'll make that right turn, ready to take a left to intercept at Getby, and then come straight down for 28. Should be a lovely approach. Looks nice. Everything seems good. So everything's all good there. Right, we start getting our ILS courses ready to go, and we can set the frequency now for the ILS. So we'll switch them over at 10950. Okay, so we're just descending down now. Once we start to make our left turn, then we'll get near to our flaps up setting, and we'll start to drop the flaps. So just slowing now through 240. We'll slow down to 213. That should be our flaps up, and then we'll start making our way down into the airport. So we'll put full bank on as we now make that turn, as we need to be at 3,000. Lovely views. There's the localizer coming into play. So as we're going to come in on a nice 90 degree, what we can do now is we'll put the VOR lock on, as I'm sure it isn't going to ping off any time soon, as we should be right on the path. So just coming down for our 220, and we need to be at our 213. So we can just shove that in there. Okay, so there's the glide path as well. So what we'll do is put the approach on. got the VOR lock, which will activate. What the aircraft's doing is it's lining itself so we can catch in for it. So we'll drop our speed brakes to arm and we'll drop the flaps 5 as we are right on target. So we can go down to flaps as long as it's under 250. So there's the dual channel. We'll switch over to CMDB and we'll put our QNHs back to standard for the airport as we start coming down now. Okay, so as you can see on the navigational display, we've got our top of descent at 2000. That's when the glide slope will kick in, so we've got enough time to now drop down our gears and drop our wheels. So we need to be at 188 now, which is our flaps 5. So we'll stay at flaps 5 until we are gone past our fix of Delta 103. Then we'll drop our flaps 15 and gear down. Got our auto brakes set. We've got our approach, which is all set as well. Single channels on, put the double. We shouldn't really do the double because we are going to disengage. There we go. What I was just basically demonstrating is if you try to turn off the autopilot. Okay, so gear down, flaps 15. We'll come down for our 151. There we go. Okay, autopilot is disengaged and so is the auto throttle. Okay, flaps 25. And flaps 30. So what I was basically saying was, once the approach is locked in on the front display, it will not come out. It's there as a anti-prevention to stop it being deactivated on the from either pilot by accident. If he was coming in for an auto land, etc. We were just meant to do the single channel, but not a problem. So let's start to come down now, as we've got a little bit of wind to the left. So there's our 151, keeping it nice and stable as we come in. Get a bit of trimming. Okay, so there's the glide slope. So keeping it nice and stable now as we come in. We've got our flaps 30 which is checked. We've got our auto brake set at number 2. We're established on the ILS and we are ready to go.
Thousand feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Okay, just put a little bit of rudder in. Okay, speeds are nice and stable. Got a lot of wind, but it's not too much of a problem.
Approaching minimums. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, speed brakes are up and reversers are active. Check. And we'll let the reversers out now. Manual braking. And we'll let the brakes out. Tip the speed brake back in. Turn that off, get rid of our auto throttle sign, and now we can get ready to vacate the runway. So there we are guys, down in Faro. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you the landing was smooth enough for you guys, as we've got our great cinematics now to come for the arrival. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, and leave your comments down below, and I'll see you in just a moment when we taxi back into the gate. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. And there we are, guys, down in Faro for our flight of the night in the lovely Ryanair 737-800. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a subscribe and a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your comments down below. So I'll see you all again very soon, guys. Take care for now, and I'll see you all next. So take care for now. Bye bye.